Welcome to the Hopium Podcast, hosted by Jp3g and Burmpf. As always, this is not financial advice.
All right, everybody. Welcome to another episode of the Hopium Podcast. Today's a pretty cool special episode. I know you've heard their name lately, so I just wanted to introduce Liberty Square, man. How are we doing?
Doing well, man. Thanks for having us on.
Do I call you Liberty Square? Is that what I call you?
Yeah, Liberty.
Do you have an alias?
Secret is my personal account, Secret Squirrel. But people somehow this voice has become synonymous with Liberty at this point.
Liberty.
And the blessing and the curse with that, so people just kind of refer to it as Liberty at this point.
Cool. Well, we'll stick with Liberty. And so yeah, I mean, anybody on crypto Twitter has seen the squirrels. They've seen your name. They've seen the project. And so for those that aren't familiar, let's kind of dig into what and who Liberty Square is, I guess. So where did the idea of Liberty Square come from?
I'll try to give the TLDR while
Sure.
moving. It's not a short story. It started in March of 21. I work in the music and film and entertainment business, and I had a lot of inbound inquisitions about some of my clients and doing NFT projects, and I knew nothing about blockchain technology or cryptocurrency. I hadn't played in the world. It just wasn't, for no reason other than I didn't. And so the answer was no to most of those people pretty regularly. And one day one of my clients said, but it seems like there's like an opportunity there, and I see a lot of people are making good money. I'm not saying we should do it for the money, but we should probably look into what it is. And I said, okay, let me go work, right? And by June, I was just full on, all in. Knew this was the future of technology. I have 2 daughters. I believe that they will grow up with this as if not their primary source of transacting, then one of the, like you and I would use a credit card, right?
Yeah. Yep.
So I think that that's the future of those sort of financial transactions, in my opinion, currently. So it came down to like, okay, for me, the best way to learn is to just go do it, right? If I want to create a television show, it's just go write it. If you want to create a film, you go write it. I had never created something that was going to be publicly facing myself. I just sort of worked with creators and overseen the creators along the way. But this opportunity I wasn't going to hand off, and it is my first foray into creating a universe as an individual, and then Scribble, who's our illustrator and co-founder, it's his as well. He's worked in until Friday, I guess is his last day.
Cool.
He's worked second biggest merch company in entertainment. So we went down the road. We started with a project called Network Nerds. It was, pretty typical PFP style project, much more illustrated than sort of thick line pastel colors. But we started down that path, and it was just like, fucking can't connect with it. And it felt like everything that I was saying no to in March, we were actually just trying to do. And so we killed it. And I was like, we got to kill it. Here's what I think it should be. And we developed sort of all these characters and all these worlds. And then it went to, but what's the visual representation of that? And I was sitting at my counter one day in this island we have in our kitchen, and we had an earthquake recently. And I looked up, and this squirrel cookie jar that we had was turned sideways. And I was like, it's fucking squirrels, right? So that's how the squirrel be. And
Okay.
And so that is sort of the impetus for the art and the collection and the direction. The story and the lore is, just based on sort of my personal past and personal experiences through world building with artists or with television shows. One of my clients created a really popular show on Netflix that's been #1 a few seasons in a row.
Wow.
Another one in Eisner in graphic novels. And then my music clients have always been super visual and super sort of lore based. So it's just like this perfect blend of Scribble and Shadow, who's our other co-founder, and this is the world we've lived in, and we built our own world of it. It's super fun.
You certainly have. And I honestly, I was kind of hoping you were going to say, because I'm not sure how old you are, but Conker's Bad Fur Day. I was kind of hoping that's where the inspiration came. Are you familiar with that game?
No, I'm not.
Well, if you ever needed an idea for a 101, like, dude, you'll have to look into Conker's Bad Fur Day. It was like a Nintendo 64 game. It was a ton of fun.
Bro, I'm old, by the way. I'm I'm 45. I just turned 45.
Okay.
I have no in it in this ecosystem. I think that that's one of the, especially Solana. Solana's a little like young. I'm certainly fighting that battle, but our team is pretty young and they keep me frosty.
Cool. Well, no, it's good. I mean, I didn't mean to bring up age. I'm 31, but I feel that just with like the interactions for the most part. So about the project, I know I believe there's 12 gangs. Is that correct?
There's 10 gangs and sort of 12 breeds.
Okay.
Yeah. That's
Okay.
the easy way to say that.
Now the gangs and kind of the lore behind it, just like another quick version of that, because I think that's kind of a lot of the question I get when I talk to people about it, and I know you'll be able to explain it a lot better than I will. What role do they play? Why do you want the complete set? And like, what does that mean moving forward with the project?
Yeah. What role do they play? So when I was starting down the path and researching and doing the journey and starting the journey that we're on, what I noticed with like Basie, Macy, Doodles, Cool Cats, all that shit on ETH, all those projects, I shouldn't say shit, all the projects on ETH, was that what had happened or what was happening was they would create these generative sets and then individuals would own them. And then there'd be like this weird sort of situation where people would try to create characters like Jenkins the valet, right? And I think that when you're creating a project like Liberty, and in my mind and in our minds internally, it was always about world building. It was always about sort of rich, deep lore building and character building. And I think that everything in the world does start with character, whether that's IRL or fiction. There's archetypes. You go to a party with your friends, there's 7 to 12 archetypes of characters there, and that's it. Doesn't matter if there's 200 people there, there's 7 to 12 different archetypes. And that was the approach we wanted to take, was create characters that have personas, personalities, and meaning within the world of Liberty. And so that is what we did, and we don't have to go backwards to develop those characters. All 10 gangs and all 12 breeds, the 10 gangs each have their names, and then the characters within those gangs already have their names, right? Their actual like character name. So, and they always have, and they've always had like a little blurb about who they are, what they mean, what's their driving factor, etc. And that's really important to me for where we want to go long term. It's also where Degenerates comes in, which is our Gen 2 that'll be in December, and then what was called Fat Cats, but we'll change that now. Yeah, somebody ran us on that. It's all good too, because what we haven't announced what we've replaced it with, but we have decided, and I kind of like it more. Cool. So good game. Yeah, so all that plays into it, but then it comes down to, like you said, why do you want to collect all 12? And I look behind you and I see a bunch of collectibles.
Yes.
Think about where it all finally clicked for me with NFTs in blockchain technology was just one day I was like, this is like Garbage Pail Kids. That's what it feels like, right? And I think, or Beanie Babies, or any of the hold on. Fuck, I'm sorry. I had a call
You're
come
good.
in. Let me
It
put it on
happens.
disturb. Yeah, it's like Beanie Babies. It's like any of these collectibles, and to me, I look at Wax blockchain with Funko or Garbage Pail Kids or Marvel, DC. And no offense to Wax or any of those projects, I think Solana is the superior technology.
Mm-hmm.
And based on my relationships and my history, I kind of think like, how do we onboard larger properties into Solana ecosystem? And I was seeing staking, and I was seeing sort of these things that were popping off early 2022, late 21, and I was like, nobody has collection staking. That doesn't exist. So how do we build it so that it's a collection staking model that can onboard sports teams or onboard Garbage Pail Kids or onboard GI Joe or whatever, right? Just using sort of low-hanging fruit references there. And so we developed this collection staking idea, and it's not, you know, super revolutionary, groundbreaking tech stuff, but the arrays are different and how we're assigning things are different, and your multipliers are all different based on the collections you have. And then what that did was it gave us the opportunity to really, really go deep on the difference between a legendary set, an ultra rare set, a rare set, and a common set, which is also, to me, as a collector of other things, those are the grails, right? Those are the things that you want to be getting. And that's where collection comes from, is you want to have all 12, because once you have all 12, you're getting a multiplier on your SPL, which is filth in our case. And it's really hard now to get a dude. Somebody sent Risk this morning, sent me a text, and he goes, holy fuck, if you want to buy a full set of Liberty right now, it's like 310 SOL, which is just insane to me. Absolutely fucking insane. So
so was the hold on, because that just kind of sparks like a question with when you guys were making these and, you know, the complete set, because obviously there's more limited Padres and limited, I think it's Reapers, right? Was that intentional? Is that to make that kind of like the grail?
100% it was.
Okay.
100%. It was, yeah, it's like, yeah. And so, yeah, I think you're going to start seeing that with First Order and Cadavers next. You know, Robos, which is one of the characters in the Shadow Sect. I think there's 70 of them that output, and those things are hot lava.
Little secret alpha.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's the community decided, right? We didn't decide. That's my favorite part about everything, is these unknown unknowns that sort of occurred back. So yeah, so it was always intentional. And what happened, you know, after, when people started sort of collecting the Reapers and sniping them, was we realized that like more people were adopting the collection staking methodology and the approach to it than maybe we had anticipated. And so we created this thing called Destruction and Nuclear Destruction, which we announced. I think our floor price was at like 1.4 or 2.2 or something. And we announced Destruction and Nuclear Destruction, which was, you're going to be able to trade in 15 commons for a Reaper. And you can turn in 20 commons for a new legendary 1/1 Reaper, which we commissioned 10 1/1 artists to do. So you're kind of priced out of it now to some degree if you're just coming in now.
Sure.
But bought then, you're not at all. And I don't know. I don't pay attention to floor prices. I know that's so cliche, but I don't. I pay attention to sentiment more than anything, and we just can't kind of keep going. So I'm super, super, super happy that the thesis of collection staking seems to be correct, right? That the idea we had seems to have found an audience. And now we just have to try to build upon that. And we have a lot of tricks still.
No, and that's cool. And so it's funny, and I probably need to do a little bit more research on things when I start to come into projects, because I don't know if you were there the day that I decided to take the plunge with Liberty Square. I think the floor price was around 8 or 9 SOL. I initially bought after mint I didn't mint. I haven't minted for a while, but I picked a couple up and I kind of sold on the way up. And then when I was completely out, and then I kind of got to hear and, you know, talk with you on Spaces. I believe it was you that we communicated with.
Yeah.
And I was like, holy shit, this dude's badass. Like, I can vibe with him. I like what he's doing. I like his, like, just from hearing you and like how committed you were, and you can just tell sometimes with people. So then I decided to ape in. I, not realizing at the time, because I saw the gangs or whatever, and I saw First Order, and me being a Star Wars fan, I was like, cool, I'm gonna ape into the first. So I have a ton of First Order squirrels.
You're fucking stoked right now,
And
dude.
I'm happy. I wish I would have done like something, you know, because I think I bought my Padre at 12, which
Dude,
I'm
that's
also super
incredible.
stoked about.
Holy shit.
I didn't buy a Reaper. I'm upset about that. So I obviously don't have a complete set. I need to get a Reaper. So I mean, I have some First Orders I could probably try to trade or sell to get to one. But no, I like the idea. I think this just the collector in me. Obviously, you can see behind me what I have. There's a part of me that has to have that, like, in like for no like legit, you know, logical reason. But
Dude, it's what makes you happy at the end of the day. Right? Like that. This is it's people overcomplicate the shit out of this ecosystem, or overcomplicate the thinking.
Yeah.
It's yeah, it's a sociological experiment, but it's just a human experiment, right? People are happy based on different things. And for me, what makes me happy is building things that people love or like, and then we can build love into there, that provide them some sort of reward emotionally, and or in this case, you know, I got a DM yesterday from somebody, and he said, you know, he's one of our bigger whales. And he's like, yo, I know this is early, but I did rough calculations, and my bag is now worth this. I'm going to buy a house with my profits.
Ooh,
like, holy fuck, right? And I saw another one from somebody who was like, yeah, I sold a few of what I got early at sub 2, and I just paid off my car. And you just go like, what the fuck, man?
That's
like
wild.
that's a whole different level of like, that's not just like emotional, like I feel part of something. That's emotional, like I feel actual relief, right?
Yeah.
And that to me, bro, I'll keep my foot on the gas until I crash into the fucking sun. You know, like that's about it. So
I mean, that's motivating to hear, if nothing else. And it's funny hearing you say that, because that is what initially stuck out to me about you. Was in a space you had mentioned that you're like, no, I'm not upset at people that are, you know, that bought in early on and believed in us, that are selling at this point. He's like, they're you know, you I guess you were like, they're making money, that they're profiting, and they're happy. And I'm not going to ever, you know, I can't remember exactly what you said, but along the lines of like, I'm never going to be upset for somebody that we would sell that made money along the, you know, the journey, and they were a part of it. Like, and I thought that was really cool. Some founders, some people, you don't get that message. And, you know, obviously, as you can see where things are going, I mean, this project seems to have only, you know, it's on the up and up. And so that was kind of what made me kind of take the plunge. I think after one of those spaces, I was just kind of reflecting. I was like, that guy seems like somebody I could chill with. I mean, because we were talking about going to Vegas. Do you remember that? The party house?
yeah.
And I was like, okay, this is somebody I could see myself chilling with.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know fucking party house I'll be doing in Vegas, because it's
yeah, I don't think so anymore.
well, yeah, it's a weird place to be, right? Like there's a meetup tonight here with some of the homies, and you know, people I've hung out with Colster, I've hung out with Sorcerer in person, but now it's sort of like I had to call Mark this morning. I'm like, bro, how many people are going to this thing? And he's like, oh, it's this person. And I was like, oh, fuck, right? Because, you know, again, like I'm a father of 2. I have my IR career. I want Liberty to grow based on sort of this presentation of Liberty. I don't want anything to affect it in any way that ever makes it feel disingenuous in any and yeah, and it's a conundrum, isn't it? Like,
yeah,
love hanging out with people in that respect. So we'll see. We're having the internal doxing conversation and things like that going on in general, because there is a point where like that's twofold, right? One is sort of the mystery and the mystique of it has worked thus far, and it's exciting, and I love it actually, because
Yeah.
it just was like fuckery. We get to clown a little bit. The other part is, as floor price go up, there needs to be some extra level of confidence that we're giving people, I think. And maybe that doesn't have to happen in a fully doxed manner, but I'm doxed privately to a pretty good set of human beings. Everybody on the team knows who I am. They've seen my kids and fucking FaceTime and all that other shit. So I do lean on that a lot, and I love that I can have that. And then like Johnny Jpegs knows who I am. I've had real business conversations with him because I have such respect for him as a human being.
Yeah.
Sweeper, same thing. He's a funny money grubber, but I have a lot of respect for him. Frank and the team there, like we've hung out. I went to the house a couple times, and they know who I am. It's no fucking, but part of the allure of this ecosystem is the game theory of it all, right? Is like
Absolutely
character. And when it becomes a character, that character adds value to the overall story. So we're in a bind there, but we'll see what happens, sir.
And to be honest, because I remember when I found out that Frank's real name wasn't Frank. And we did a podcast with Frank, and I actually got to see Frank, which was kind of cool. Got to, chat with him, kind of like you and I are.
Yeah.
Got to see what he, not that like that changed my opinion of D-Gods or whatever, but I get it. There's like the storytelling, the allure of like the mysterious, and I understand that, and it plays a part in this, like kind of where you guys are now. So I don't think that it's necessary, if that's what you're kind of hinting at. But I get it's a fine line to walk. I've never publicly doxed. Like you seeing me is like, it's a little different because I'm not like you and I don't know. That doesn't bother me. Like the fact that you can see me, that doesn't bother me. But yeah, to your average person on Twitter, like, out there, like, yeah, like, I don't know. I don't necessarily need to, like, I don't see the appeal of it. And I actually joked about it because I wanted to go to NFT Las Vegas. Sadly, I have a family trip planned to Disney World in Florida that exact week. So I'll be in Florida, which is a huge bummer. I'm excited to go. Don't get me wrong. My kids are so excited to go to Disney World, but no. So I joked because I was like, I'm just gonna make me a shirt and it's gonna just say Jp3g. Then I'm gonna use that to walk around to meet people, right? Like, and at that point, it's a little different. But with where you guys are at, I don't think it's necessary. I mean, your guys' success is no mistake. Hearing you talk about it, it's really cool to hear your story, kind of where it came from and where it's going. I'm excited to see what's to come, and which kind of leads me to my next question is, and you hinted at it earlier, there's the Gen 2 collection coming up. But in your words, long story short, to just kind of finish up here, what is the future of Liberty Square? How does the Gen 2, I guess, play a part with the Gen 1s? And what do holders and potential future holders have to look forward to? As much as you can give us, I guess.
No. Look, part of doing this and having these conversations is to give some alpha, right? Like part of it hopium, part of it is giving back, what we can to our holders.
Sure.
And giving people reasons to talk about the project and to be excited about the future. So Degenerates is December 9th for sure. Harlow's story, the Genesis story for Harlow, which is the Squirrels for Liberty character, is October 15th for sure. The second story, which is unannounced, is the story of Cinder and Malice. Cinder is the Nutcracker's MC member, Malice is the enforcer, and that story is fucking dope and graphic and everything. So that's going to be hopefully November 1st or 2nd. We're trying to condense the time between these stories dropping to sort of give these characters more life, but at the same time keep the arc long enough on the release of them to get to that third gen, the Gen 3 collection that's been in the roadmap since March. Since before we were anything, it was always going to be this. So before anybody goes like, oh my god, they're cash grabbing with the third set, like, no, motherfuckers, we have planned. This is part of the story, this is part of the lore, and it's an important part. And if you ride the wave, and we're not going to go jack our mint prices up and go fucking like jack our royalties up, we're going to stay pretty close to where we are depending on what the market conditions are for everything. But yeah, so story 2, we'll announce that here. That's Cinder and Malice. That's the Nutcrackers MC Genesis story. I can't announce one of the things that's happening with the release of the stories because it's super, super precarious. But when done, I say when because both sides want the deal done. That distribution model is super fucking awesome for a holder. Like, if it goes the way I want, which I'm pushing so hard, it will have not been done in Web3 yet, period. Yeah. So if we can do that, and maybe some won't be as excited as I am, I'm fucking excited about it because it literally was just like, it gives our holders and those people who have accrued filth, like we fucking said from day one, and who have, one of the things that was going on in those early shill-in spaces is like, why mint Liberty Square? If you mint on day one and stake when you can, by December, you'll be, I promise you will feel like you've been made whole. Well, now we've passed that, right? Because next, which is dope. But there's still a feeling that I want to give with Liberty that was intended there, which is we're here to be part of this amazing ecosystem, but we're here to bully the shit out of it too, to challenge the conventions of it, to push the elasticity of the boundaries of it, and to do things that haven't been done yet. Some will work, some will fail. I'm totally good with the failures as long as we're learning from them. So there's something coming in October, hopefully, that we'll announce either at Vegas or right after Vegas with the launch of Harlow that'll fuck people's brains in a good way. There's something happening in Vegas that will absolutely make our holders stoked. There's no way that it can't. If you don't, then floor your shit and get out because we're swinging for the fences with it, and I'm very stoked about it. Purgatory opens, November 25th. Destruction starts in 2 weeks. Nuclear, same time. Like, I did the calculations. So Purgatory was a result of like, project, and I have no shame in saying this publicly. I'll say it in any space and defend it fiercely. Mm-hmm. When we minted, we would do little mini sweeps here and there of things, not because we were trying to fucking manipulate a floor price. Like, we would sweep from 1.5 and up rather than from 1.1 to 1.5, right? Mm-hmm. And that was just sort of just build some volume, give our holders some confidence that the royalties that were coming in were going back to the project. And that Sunday after mint, I woke up with the word Purgatory in my head. And so Purgatory was built. And Purgatory is this place where we do these sweeps, we have these squirrels, they're staked, the filth is being accrued in there. Black Friday, the day after Thanksgiving, mm-hmm. Purgatory opens up, and those will be available for raffle. Everything that we've accrued. We have a D-God in there, we have a Ute in there, well, 2 right now. We have a cat, we have an OK Bear, we have an SMB, we have a Blocksmith, and on and on.
God damn.
But just yesterday, I decided to do like a rough calculation. And the amount of squirrels that we currently have in Purgatory, based on our floor price today, mm-hmm. exceeds what we raised from the mint.
Oof. Good for you guys.
Well, good for the community.
True.
They get them from Phil. But it's like, not us.
I mean, it is you though. Like, don't discredit yourselves. Like, it's because there are people that have issues with what you did, and I don't. Like, I don't maybe like to a degree, I guess, right? But it sounds like it was very calculated, and that doesn't that doesn't bother me at all because there's plans. You guys have plans, right? Yeah. It's not like you didn't buy it just to try to get people to hurry and sweep it up and then it dump at it, you know what I'm saying? So like, that's not what was done. So
there's no dumping here, dude. We don't like, that's the other thing of being a 45-year-old dude with a career. I'm paying money for Liberty at this point. I'm not making money on Liberty. It's never gonna, that pendulum will swing. Like, we're building value and equity,
Absolutely.
but we're not taking cash out of Liberty. It's just not, it's not going to happen for a while. We have a lot of, Cass and Frisk and Bryce and this whole team to pay, and we pay them the first of every fucking month, and that's just how that's going to be. But yeah, so Purgatory worked out, so that's coming. We have Generats December 9th. That's going to be dope. We have a whole different approach to that, right? And I think people will be pretty surprised. So I think first Harlow, the book, will fuck with people's heads. I think it's 10 pages right now. It's short. It'll probably be graphic novel style illustration for now. Because they're shorts, they're one shots technically, right? And so we want to make sure to give there's visual representations that we need to get across to continue to build the world of Liberty and the lore of where we're going for the full story, which is already pretty much written, which is wild. So that's coming. Mercantile's, the Division is launching. We have 2 announced partners in the Division right now with Nifty and Easy Eats Bodega, the Bodega Buddies, or Bullies, whatever, it's Bodega Buddies. And then we have, go ahead.
No, we didn't even talk about the Mercantile. Like, dude, that's another huge thing. Like,
yeah,
you just kind of just didn't even touch on that. So yeah,
dude, we could go for a long time, but it's not part of the roadmap. It came as sort of another way to, honestly, because we pushed staking back and then did that airdrop of 3x staking multiplier from mint date to the stake launch date. We output about 750,000 filth when we did that airdrop. That's a lot of filth.
That is
supply. So my job now as a founder is to go get that fucking filth back. And so we did. We've reclaimed about 260,000 of it. Nice. And and emissions are good. Everything's good on the tokenomics. Nobody panics about shit. And it's, there's no LP, but it is available on Solape and Jupiter.
That's what I was going to ask you. I knew it was on Solape. I didn't know if it was on like an aggregator yet, but
yeah, I think honest to God, beyond like, we paid Solape for the serum skin to get it up because I back Bagsy, I back Jux, I back Hodl, I back Giz, and Ansel's the dev there, and it's a good thing for our holders to have. Beyond that, zero fucks about filth right now, right? Like,
sure,
it's rewardonomics. We will work to increase the value of filth just through scarcity and other ploys and tactics, but that doesn't mean that we will. I'm not focused on filth today, right? Our project's 70 days old. I'm focused on the next leg of our project and checking off things that are actually on the roadmap, because Mercantile was not part of the roadmap. The Division part of the roadmap. Both of them were born out of frustration that a solution didn't exist. And to me, that's what we do, right? For every artist, I can sell merch in an instant and just plug into XYZ. Yeah, and now we have there's 3 projects that are unannounced. We're sort of figuring that out, but that's all. I want to build the Division right. I want to get some things going. I want to break it. If it breaks, then we want to fix it. If it doesn't break, we want to build upon it. It's just a long game with that. It's a B2B SaaS today, and merchandise solution for projects. And I could see us going and getting a bunch of ETH projects as well. We have a lot of connections to that world. So whether that's through Guy with Bored Apes or whatever, I don't know that. I'm not saying that that's who we're going to go get, but these are we'll maybe pull some levers when it's time. Fuck, man, what else is coming? There's just so much, right?
Vegas. That was good. That was good. Like I don't want to have you give out too much. I mean, I'm a huge fan. I'm a huge supporter of what you guys are doing. And when I see people on Twitter that question it, that's okay. I'm not saying like that people shouldn't question it. It's that I want to be able to explain it, and I want like your voice. And this is a way for you to kind of answer multiple questions at once, I guess, if people want to listen to it. And I'm I'm a huge fan. Like I want to, like obviously I'm a holder. I'm a huge supporter. I got a little work to do. I got to go get my, completed set now. But no, I mean, props to you guys. You guys are doing some cool shit. Like if nothing else, I am more bought in than I ever was before.
Dude, thank you so much.
And I get it. It's a long term, and I have had to mature. I've been in this space since August of last year, so I've seen a lot. I've been through a lot, and I have definitely matured in that year as just a trader, if you will, in the space. And I have a wallet and just my ledger where I'm just more comfortable putting projects and letting them sit and seeing what happens. And you guys are one of those projects. So kudos to what you guys are doing.
Thank you so much. Yeah, man. Look, it's so funny too, right? Because yeah, we're having a good run. We're in the middle of a cool run. I'm having the most. The team is fucking incredible. We get along incredibly well, and and there's nothing better, right? It reminds me so much of certain things. We're not going anywhere. Like, sorry, motherfuckers, get used to hearing the boomer's ass saying "get wrecked."
Dude, when I see you on Spaces, I love the banter, man. It's always been fucking fun. So
yeah, we're built a little different in the way that there's nobody safe, right? If you want to come at us, cool, but that doesn't mean that I'm not personally going to come back at you. And the reason for that isn't because you hurt my feelings. Like, you're going to have to do a lot more to hurt my feelings. Sure. The reason that is that one, our community works really fucking hard, and they work, yes, of course they're pumping their own bags in quotes, but it's also a belief, and I'm going to defend them. We go to battle, I'm the fucking first one that's taking a bullet. And then the other part is that this team, Cass and Frisk and Don't Feed and Relly and everybody, right?
Yeah.
Works incredibly fucking hard. So if you're gonna Ansel, right? Somebody decided to like make a comment about the staking site and there's some shit on the timeline. I was like, cool. Hey motherfucker, I made that decision. That wasn't Ansel. Don't go after him. Come after me with your
that conversation.
Yeah, well, don't have keyboard courage. Arguably, I'm the easiest founder to find in this fucking space. I'm on Spaces way more than than I should be, I should say. I won't compare it to way more than I should be. Come up, say hello. Let's talk about it, because we're not perfect. I'm the first to admit it. There's shit that sucks. Staking does suck. I made a decision that made staking suck. Okay. I also then made the decision to make staking better. And I think when it launches, I think Friday we'll probably push it, maybe Monday, and test it over the weekend. Cool. We're doing everything by proxies now. It'll load as fast as Magic Eden. Watch. Just fucking watch. And that's because we had to break it to learn. I didn't know that 3K files in staking would be so fucking shitty. They're fucking shitty. Okay, so we fix it. But yeah, it's that kind of shit, man. And I'm rambling, I'm sorry, but it is what makes me about the future, is going like, cool, we've done some things. At some point here, post Vegas, I'll probably pull back on Spaces 20-30%. That doesn't mean we're rugging. It doesn't mean we're going anywhere. It means that 2023 for me, specifically October of 2023.
Be ready?
If we as a team and me as a co-founder and the partners that we've already started conversations with, if we can pull off what we're trying to pull off for October of 2023, I don't know what the sort of big effect will be, but I know that at least the thinking and the process of what we're doing will change the way that the general public views blockchain technology and NFTs. That's what I know. Maybe not positive, maybe not negative, but I know that if we can do it right, when we do it right, it's gonna be, I'm fucking pumped for it, man. And that's what, when I say 2023 is the year for Legends, that's what it is. And that's the alpha for the day, is that Legends will come over, and Legends is something that nobody sees coming. So
we're all underinvested with squirrels, long story short.
You're gonna have a lot of opportunities to be part of the ecosystem with degenerates and what was Fat Cats. again, those mints will be fair distribution. We won't over allocate, whitelist. We won't get. I think that meta sucks. I think that when people over allocate, it's bullshit, because people work hard and have this expectation, save their soul, and get ready to mint, and then they get it, right? So everything that we do is going to be super fair, equitable distribution. Everything that we do will be super fair, equitable cost strategy, pricing strategy, because I don't want people. We're not here to take money from you. We're here to help people grow their value of their bags, right? I have to be careful with how I phrase that. But,
Sure.
But so if you missed squirrels currently, right, there may be a retracement, maybe there won't, I don't know. But if you missed, there are opportunities before we get to October of 2023. There's more than one opportunity to get in. And I would further say that, like, if you feel underexposed in Liberty, as I just said, there's like 507 squirrels in Purgatory that are going to be raffled off for filth through an equal distribution model there as well. Meaning, just because you have more filth doesn't mean you'll get more entries. So you'll have an equal opportunity to potentially win another squirrel if you can only afford one now, but you're going to have to be a holder to enter those raffles, right? So I think there's a lot. Fuck.
I mean, we could go on for hours, bro. I'm sure.
18 minutes for this call, so I'm gonna have to bounce in a second.
No, you're good. In fact, we'll just wrap it up here. You've been great, man. Happy to see where things are going. You've got a lot of support. I hope you guys know that. Myself included, big Liberty Square fan. So thanks for your time. I appreciate your time. I truly do. I know it's not easy. So tell the team hello. I'll be. I have my own strategy now from what you have told me, but I'm going shopping. So
let the motherfuckers let everybody know. Don't edit the alpha out. No, but for real, dude, thank you for your time. Like, I know you shared some personal details, and it's like, I get it, man. And folks like you, people like you who are giving time to try to make the ecosystem a better place, are severely undervalued. So thank you for doing what you're doing.
That means a lot. You don't hear that enough. So
it's true.
So appreciate it, bro. I hope to one day. I was hoping for Vegas, but one of these times I look forward to meeting you in person. So
we're not going anywhere. You got time.
Okay. All right, man. Until next time.
Yeah. Bye.
Have a good one.